Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into the fascinating psychology behind everyday decision-making and that absolutely exhausting trap of buyer's remorse. Today, we're going to look at a highly relatable story that perfectly captures why our brains sometimes just completely freeze up over the smallest details. And more importantly, we'll see how we can better manage our absolute most precious resource, which is our cognitive energy. So, if you're someone who constantly struggles to make a choice, you are in the exact right place.
So let me ask you a question, and I'm pretty sure this is going to resonate with almost everyone tuning in. Have you ever made a purchase, maybe a new shirt or a gadget, only to be instantly paralyzed by doubt the exact second you walked out of the store? Just agonizing, wondering if that other option was actually the better one. It is such a sinking feeling, right? You literally go from the high of getting something brand new straight into this anxious spiral of second-guessing.
Well, this exact dilemma is perfectly captured in a conversation between a young woman named Dweety and her mother. We're going to use their chat as our main case study today to explore how our brains handle choices. So Dweety comes to her mom looking completely deflated and confesses that she just bought a Salwar suit. But immediately, she's plagued by the thought that she should have grabbed the other one. And the kicker? It wasn't a difference in price. They cost exactly the same. This was just pure, unadulterated indecision kicking in after the fact.
Let's look at part 1, the overthinker's dilemma.
To figure out what's actually going on inside her head, Dweety breaks down her thought process. And wow, she reveals this massive mental checklist. For a simple, everyday outfit, she's overanalyzing the look, the fit, the price, the long-term durability, the specific print, the cut of the fabric, the quality of the tailor's work, and even whether her parents are going to approve. Add a million other microfactors to that, and Dweety's brain is just completely overwhelmed. It really highlights a profound psychological truth for us. Trivial decisions can quickly eat up all our mental energy if we don't set boundaries.
Her indecisiveness is actually so pronounced that it's become a running joke with her friends. They actively roast her by offering up 3 different choices for things, knowing full well that giving her multiple options is going to leave her confused for the entire rest of the day. They have a good laugh about it, sure, but it underscores a really heavy burden. When you process every minor choice like it's a high-stakes puzzle, you're basically walking around in a constant state of brain fatigue.
Moving right along to part 2, post-purchase dissatisfaction.
So her mom scientifically categorizes this very normal feeling, formally defining it as post-purchase dissatisfaction. She assures Dweety that this is incredibly common. It's just a natural byproduct of living in a world where we have so many choices. But she drops a really critical piece of advice here. While the feeling itself is completely normal, dwelling on it is a massive mistake. Once the choice is made, lingering on all those what-ifs serves absolutely zero productive purpose.
Which brings us nicely to part 3, saving your brain power.
Okay, this is absolutely crucial to understand. Think of your brain power like a battery on your smartphone. You literally only have a finite amount of charge each day. Her mom points out that agonizing over simple, everyday choices fundamentally wastes our most precious resource, which is our ability to think. We should actively be saving our hard thinking, our deep analysis, and all those mental checklists for long-term decisions and real investments. If you burn all your mental fuel choosing a piece of clothing, you have nothing left in the tank for the decisions that actually matter.
Let's look at part 4, big goals, clear steps. To truly grasp this concept, you have to look at the fascinating contrast between Dweety's everyday indecision and her absolute clarity about her long-term future. It is a stunning difference. The exact same brain that agonizes over the print of a suit can flawlessly map out a complex, 5-step career path in space research physics. She knows exactly what she wants to do: study hard, get into the best possible institute, tackle lab projects, land a summer internship, and eventually join a space organization. When the stakes are high, her overthinking totally vanishes, replaced by this streamlined, highly effective plan.
All right, part 5, emotion versus logic. Now, what happens when we throw human emotion and compassion into our daily problem solving? Dweety tells her mom a story about buying a pen at a fair from a young vendor. The vendor told her he hadn't eaten all day because he hadn't sold a single thing. So, feeling intense pity, Dweety buys the pen. But her mom points out a massive, glaring blind spot here. If the actual goal was to help a hungry person, the direct logical solution was to just buy him food from a nearby stall, not to buy a pen.
This quote from her mom directly explains how high compassion and strong emotional responses can severely cloud our ability to see the most direct, logical solution to a problem. As her mom notes, Dwinty thinks of literally everything else, rather than focusing on what she actually should be thinking about. Her empathy is beautiful for sure, but in this specific instance, it completely hijacked her rational problem-solving skills, leading to a really inefficient outcome for everyone involved.
But hey, before you feel too bad for all the overthinkers out there, her mom does offer this incredibly reassuring takeaway. Despite the emotional detours, the endless variables, and the occasional mismatched solution, overthinkers usually land on the right choice eventually. Because you're processing so much data and you care so deeply about the outcome, the final destination is rarely a complete disaster. It just takes a lot longer and hurts a bit more to get there.
Her mom actually gives her this hilariously brilliant hack to bypass the mental fatigue of buyer's remorse. She jokes with Dweety, suggesting that she should do all her agonizing, finally make a choice, and then immediately pivot and just go with the option she initially dropped. It's a funny little mom joke, but it hits the nail on the head regarding the absurdity of overanalyzing two equally good options. Sometimes a coin flip is honestly just as effective as a massive pro and con list.
So as we wrap up this explainer today, her mom leaves Dweety with one final playful challenge: noodles or pasta for dinner. And Dweety instantly knows she's going to endlessly overthink it and probably regret her choice. So I'll leave you to ponder this everyday dilemma in your own life. When you face your next minor decision, challenge yourself to recognize it for what it is. Are you going to drain your battery, or are you going to save your precious brain power for the things that truly matter? Thanks so much for joining me, and remember to choose wisely where you spend your thoughts today.